Hello, welcome to a random part of my living room, and yeah, it's the girl who always talks about UChicago. So today we're gonna just talk about core, what it is, and a lot of recommendations I have, because some core classes could really kill your GPA, others are pretty awesome. So let's get straight to it. So what is core? It's basically UChicago's general education requirement, and I know a lot of colleges don't have general ed requirements. Like I know Columbia and Caltech does this, and this all started in 1931 when everyone basically came together on campus and they were like, we want UChicago to be the epitome of intelligence and blah, blah, blah. And they wanted everyone to really have a good grasp of everything that you could possibly learn and know all of the avenues and not limit yourself to just one field, because all fields are complementary in a sense. So I absolutely love UChicago Core. I think it's great. It is 15 requirements, so let's get through that real quick. So there are technically 4 broad themes. There's general, math, science, social sciences, and language competency. And all of this is going to be 18 courses total, including language competency. But I'm telling you, when it comes to a lot of these, it's just going to double count with your major. Like you don't have to take separate math classes to satisfy general ed if you're actually like a physics major, and for your major, you have to take math anyways. So we'll get into those intricacies, but for general, that includes 2 quarters of humanities, which is, you know, generally like social science, humanities is a lot of reading, 2 quarters of civ, which is like history, it's a lot of reading, and 1 quarter of art. And I took art senior year and it was awesome. It was super chill. I took a class called Film in the Moving Image, and I'll go into which classes you should and shouldn't take later, but that was super fun. For math, you're gonna have to take 2 bio classes. Every single person has to take 2 bio classes, and there's 2 physical science classes, and that just double counted with physics, so I didn't really have to focus on it, and 1 math course. And there are certainly much easier math courses available and much harder ones, also statistics, so it's really up to you. And your 6th requirement for math and science is, you know, any one of those 3, you could just add on to it. The 3rd is social science, which honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty much like the same as humanities. Like I personally did not see much of a difference. I guess humanities is more literature based and it felt like English literature, versus social science, which was very much Adam Smith, Kant, Nietzsche, and like, you know, all of those philosophers, which I learned a lot as an astrophysics major, taking classes where I learn about social construct, and it was awesome. Like you will look back and like core. But yeah, it's definitely a lot at the time when you're taking it, balancing everything. And when it comes to language competency, honestly, most people just like don't have to worry about this, because if you're bilingual, all you have to do is take a test on campus and they're gonna figure out whether you know another language. A year's worth of another language, technically, like 3 quarters is like a year's worth of, you know, classes, 3 classes for the year. And if you satisfy all of that, like if you're bilingual and you know Spanish or you know French or whatever, you're gonna obviously pass and you won't need to take any language courses. And if you also get a higher score on your AP or IB exam, you place out again. So there's a lot of ways to place out for a lot of these requirements, actually. I did the IB program, and UChicago isn't as good about the IB program as they are APs, so you're probably gonna place out of a lot of these, or it's gonna double count with your major. So don't worry too much about this. One thing I do want to say about core, there's a lot of different options for all of these. Like there's no one basic humanities course everyone takes. There's like literally 15 different options in humanities that you can take. So it's honestly really fun crafting your own path when it comes to core. And I will say UChicago peer reviews of teachers are your #1 spot to know which class to take and not to take. Honestly, the difference between one Hume series and another Hume series isn't gonna be that much. It's really teacher dependent. I had some awesome teachers in core classes and I genuinely loved the class. Like I took nutritional science and biology and I loved it. Like I am not a biology person, but nutritional science was awesome. I learned a lot about the body and what to eat and what not to eat. It was like a YouTube video, but for an entire quarter. So you're gonna have some classes you love, some that you hate. I really hated my SOSC. I think one of my quarters, Soch was really hard. The teacher just was very difficult, and I could not understand what she wanted in terms of an essay, no matter how much I tried to understand. So read all of the teacher reviews before you choose your core classes, because there's going to be a lot of reviews, because everyone has to take core, and almost everyone is required to put in a review at the end of the quarter, and no matter how brutal the review is, it's going to be on there as long as it doesn't include profanity. And I have seen some brutal reviews, like some of them are so bad for teachers, and you just have to avoid it. Like when it's time for you to choose your class, you have to open it up at 8 a.m. the day class is open to get a good spot with a good teacher, so you don't get stuck with the bad teachers, because someone's gonna have to take the bad teacher's class. And I'm not saying they're bad teachers, but it's a different learning style than what I would like personally. So core is a great opportunity. Just a quick interjection, please, for the love of God, I am a data scientist, and I know how important it is for you to smash that YouTube like button and subscribe down below if you haven't already. It really would help me out, and I love creating content for you guys, and I want to keep doing this. So yeah, join me on my journey. Now let's get back to whatever I was ranting about. Another great avenue when it comes to core is actually doing all of it at once in a study abroad. So the way core works is humanities is generally taken your first year, your second year is social science, and your third year is civ for those requirements, because they're all reading based social science-ish classes. And when you double up, I know a lot of people who took Hum and Soc first year, and when you double up with those kinds of readings, they're honestly supposed to be reading 200 to 300 pages a day. I don't know if they're actually doing the readings. I don't know, but I will say that's why they ask you to kind of space everything out, because it's really hard to take a lot of the same kinds of core classes. Like, can you imagine taking like intro physics, math, Hum, and social science, which is, you know, what happens to most people if, you know, you're a math or physics major. And it's just a lot of reading and a lot of quant all at the same time within 10-week span. It is hard. So you want to place everything out accordingly, and study abroad is an awesome way to do it. My best friend at UChicago did a study abroad in Barcelona, and she finished all of civ in Barcelona. So that entire quarter, she had 3 classes. At UChicago, you have 3 to 4 classes a quarter. She had, I believe it was 3 classes of civ in Barcelona. So they taught her all of it in Barcelona. They got to travel. She got all of it funded by UChicago, which, by the way, they are awesome with financial aid. So I think there's a lot of ways to make core really fun, especially study abroad. My biggest regret on campus is not doing a study abroad, because my major requirements were absolutely insane for astrophysics. Like, I just did not plan it the right way, because I was going to double major in history. That's a story for another time. But there are awesome core classes. That's all you need to know. And I'm going to go into all of these different sections from Hum, math, science, civ, arts, and soc. Let's just go through all of them.
Lickety split.
I don't know why I said that. That's really weird of me. But let's go through all of those. And I'll just tell you what I took. And there's a lot of options, so it's really all up to you. And read the peer reviews. That is my biggest do it. But yeah, let's get straight to that. Okay, so let's go on to Hum first. Hum is something that every single person takes their first year. So this is something you're gonna have to take right when you join UChicago. And there are a lot of options, and they're all pretty cool. I personally took Greece and Rome, text traditions, transformations. It was awesome. It had like a lot of different works, like from the Iliad and going through poetry, all the way at the end to going into comic plays, Shakespeare, and the works. So that's what I meant by it's more English literature based, which is awesome. It's really great. And I've heard really good things about Human Being and Citizen, Intro to Hume. I haven't really heard much about the rest. Like, honestly, I feel like for Hume, it's really up to whatever you want to do, and I just really recommend looking through all the course descriptions to see what you think is interesting. And all of them are gonna have similarities because it's about, you know, ancient texts. Now let's go on to math. So when it comes to math, there are a lot of options. There are even more options now than when I was at UChicago. So you literally just have to do one of these and you're done with your math requirement. But most often than not, if you're doing any sort of STEM like physics, math, chemistry, computer science, you're gonna have a lot of math courses in your major requirements. So it just double counts. You don't have to think about choosing. I think intro to data science would be super cool. I also took the comp sci 120s. I just took so many math courses. Like I took the 120s comp sci, one of the best courses I could possibly recommend to anybody. Even if you're never going to do CS, you learn all of Python very easily. You could get the job I'm in right now as a data scientist at a top tech company taking that one course. In the calculus sequences, I took the math 150s. Everybody takes the 130s, 150s, or 160s. Like that's really like the math requirements, but you could really like take non-calc or calc courses depending on your major, because for a lot of majors over here, they say that you do have to take the first two courses of the 130s, 50s, or 60s for your major, or you can place out of it by examination. But yeah, I took the 150s and they were the easiest classes, I think, my first year. If you've ever worked with calculus before, you'll be totally fine. Now let's go on to physical sciences. Here, okay, so really like if you're gonna major in chemistry, physics, bio, like you don't even have to think about this, but there are some great options and they're called phi-sci classes like PHSC, where they have like life in the universe, physics for future presidents, fundamental concepts and applications, energy and sustainability. They have a lot of astronomy courses that are taught by top tier astrophysics professors on a very rudimentary and understandable level. So you're gonna have a lot of fun with physical sciences. Don't be too worried. There's a lot of option in it, and not all of it is math or science heavy. Like the astro courses don't require math, like the super basic physical science astro classes, like no math, really require like nothing crazy, and it's so fun. Moving on to civilization. So these are really where literally like right here it says civ study abroad, and this is what most people study abroad for. So there's like a lot of options where you can just go to study abroad .uchicago.edu, choose which one, and just plan your entire course the right way so that you don't have any major requirements that you have to do that quarter, and you could take that quarter to go abroad and finish all of your civ. I know Dean Boyer does a civ when you go to Vienna. It's Western Civ, and it's super fun. The one thing I will say, I took music civ, and I personally did not like the professor. I said it. I did not like him. We had a horrible email exchange where he was just like, it just felt like he did not care about his students. I don't know. It was weird. I don't know. Music civ wasn't my favorite. Let's just go with that. It was the quarter where I was taking like grad physics classes, and I got like A's in every physics class, but I got like a B+ in civ, and I was just like, this is weird. But let's move on to art. There's a lot of options when it comes to art, and I took the one that everyone takes. Everyone takes this, guys. Film and the moving image. Everyone takes it. It's absolutely awesome. On images, on objects, like they're all really awesome classes. The thing with arts is that they get filled very quickly, so you want to preference your art very high in the course catalog when you're like, adding the courses you want to do for the quarter. You don't just get the courses you want to do for the quarter. You have to preference everything, and you get assigned it on a random basis. And yeah, some of these classes are very hard to get into. So every quarter people try to get into it, and one of the years it happens. Yeah, art is one of the fun ones. So don't stress too much about that. When it comes to biology, everyone has a general ed bio course that they have to do. It's literally just going to be general ed like core bio, and everyone takes core bio. The teachers are very, very different for core bio, and I met one of my best friends. He was my core bio partner. So core bio is great. It's hard. You do have to study a significant amount, but you're going to UChicago. What do you expect? And there are other ones, like there are a lot of different cool bio classes, so you're gonna be totally fine. Now, when it comes to social science, this is where things get very difficult. Like I feel like humanities is not as hard as social science. I think social science is a bit harder. I've heard a lot about like social science inquiry because you have to know stats, and like I think they use R, the statistical package coding, in social science inquiry. So I don't know, like I've heard a lot of different things. I took power, identity, and resistance, and this is what most people take, and it's really interesting. It's about different aspects of power, the economy. You talk about Marx, Smith, like it's pretty cool. It's pretty basic for a social science, 3/4 sequence. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for everything that I have on core today. Thank you so much for watching this video. As always, if you enjoyed it, smash that like button, subscribe down below, and let me know what you want to see next. I love making videos that you guys want to see. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys at my next video.